like your life can be unpredictable? Like every time you try to follow a plan, things always seem to fall apart anyway? Or maybe you don't even try to plan anymore because you catch yourself thinking, this is an impossible task. Don't worry, there is absolutely nothing wrong with you. This is totally normal. It happens to a lot of us. Maybe for you, it's your job that's unpredictable, or caring for an elderly parent. For us, it's our 2-year-old daughter. She has totally turned our world upside down in the best possible way, but everything that we thought we knew about parenting and productivity pretty much went out the window as soon as she arrived. People tell you when you're a new parent, you'll just figure it out. But unfortunately for many people, that's just not the case. People also tell you to make a routine. But what they fail to mention is that that routine will change every few months in unpredictable ways. And even inside that routine, your days are still going to include so many unpredictable events. So believe me, I know it's easy to lose control of your time if you're in a situation like this. I've got a lot of sympathy as the mom of a young baby. Because if you don't have a way of anticipating and then compensating for those disruptions, you can easily get really frustrated. And then that feeds the narrative that designing your week is impossible. But I promise, it is not impossible. Here's how to get past that feeling and actually take advantage of designing your week intentionally. First, it might seem like those disruptions are random, but they're actually predictable. Now, maybe you can't predict exactly when a disruption is going to hit you, but you can probably predict how much disruption is going to happen, how much time it's going to take. Our clients who track their time always find that the total amount of disruption time is pretty stable when you zoom out to the week view, or even the 2-week, or definitely for a 4-week time horizon. So think about what that means. If you know that you're usually going to have 5 hours of disruptions per week, you can usually plan for it preemptively. Right now, our daughter is going through a huge mental and physical leap, and she's surprising us every day with new things that she needs, new things that she's learned and wants us to react to. And rather than trying to keep our day-to-day activities simple, we found that it's best to just lean into doing activities that are outside her comfort zone, outside our comfort zone. So like taking her to a horseback riding lesson, or out to a new playground, or doing a messy science experiment at home. So we're leaning into that and we're planning for those, but leaving plenty of buffer room to accommodate the unknowns of the situation. Will she have a tantrum while she's on a horse? I don't know, but I'm gonna plan for it. Will she want what seems like dozens of snacks? Probably. I'm definitely gonna plan for that one. Second, once you know how many hours you need to deal with disruptions, now you can block that time in your calendar preemptively. You're probably thinking, okay, but I still don't know when it's gonna hit me in the week. And that's true. You're never gonna be able to predict exactly when it's gonna happen. I can't predict when Gigi's gonna have a meltdown, but I have been paying enough attention to know that a meltdown will probably last a half an hour, and it's more likely to happen when she's tired or when she's overstimulated. So what I'm gonna do is just block out time towards the end of my days and towards the end of my week, and I call it flex time. And then, as those disruptions hit me, I steal from those flex time blocks and I rearrange my schedule so that I still have time to get everything done. So these preemptive blocks of flex time hit 2 birds with 1 stone. They provide that much needed lubrication to your schedule so that you can deal with those unforeseen issues. But they also make your schedule more realistic over time, because now it reflects those responsibilities that you've always had. You just maybe weren't tracking them and making explicit time available for them. This is often why people avoid time tracking, even though it's exactly the medicine they need to be taking, because they don't want to bring up all of these responsibilities that are hiding out in the dark and in the shadows, because then they would really have to face up to them. But remember, that kind of thinking is a trap, because you're always better off when you get real with your schedule and actually account for all your responsibilities, even the ones that seem to happen randomly. Being in extreme ownership of your time means focusing less on the things that you can't control and more on the ways that you can take control of your time back. Quick example. We just came back from a month in Paris back in November, which to be honest, we were super nervous about. But one of our family priorities is that we all get to be happy and satisfied with our life. And for myself and Demir, that includes frequent travel. We absolutely love traveling. We were so cooped up during the pandemic, as were we all, and plus with a new baby, needless to say, we were itching to get back on the road. Of course, we didn't really know how it was gonna go now that we have Gigi in tow. And when we landed in Paris, we started tracking our time. We wanted to figure out a new schedule for how to manage our time for the 4 weeks that we were there. For example, when would be the best time to go sightseeing? When would Gigi need a nap? When would I need a nap? It ended up being completely different from how we thought it was gonna be, but thanks for time tracking, we were all able to get what we needed from each day. Gigi's now an experienced traveler and she can do so many more things than when we left for Paris. Like she can play independently for just hours and hours. She can sleep anywhere, even a loud subway. She's comfortable using the potty anywhere we go. We're so proud of her. And actually, our day-to-day now is easier because she's developed those skills. You can just see how proud and happy she is herself too. So we thought traveling would be a recipe for maybe more tantrums, more meltdowns, but actually she's happier and calmer. For now, of course. And we feel more confident as parents that we can still do those things that we love and adapt as a family to those situations. But only if we have plenty of flex time built into the schedule, I might add. Listen, if we can do it with a jet-setting 2-year-old, you can definitely do it too. So let me know in the comments, do you feel like you've got an unpredictable schedule that's impossible to plan ahead for? I read through all the comments and I would love to hear from you. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and if you're obsessed with human potential and living your best life like we are, consider subscribing to the channel as well. Thanks so much, and I'll see you in the next video.